can see Weak Link is as well. So indeed, we do have Dejmien going to be spawning here as the pink Terran up in the top left-hand corner. I don't know if it's best of one for Dejmien, but not to worry. Fishlips will probably know I'm not a referee, unfortunately. Yes, it is a best of one, so NrSfishlips going to be spawning here as the green Zerg up in the top right corner. And as I said before, yep, NRS, very predominant Romanian team. They have their own pro house and everything like that. And one of their players recently said that he was going to play like 1,000 games in a month or something, or like 2,000 games in a month. I can't quite remember the details. Maybe it was Fishlips, I'm not 100% sure. But indeed, Fishlips, a very strong player. We have seen him in some of the Stim TV broadcasts. Did very good. I believe he was knocked out by DBS actually in one of those in that tournament on Thursday, I believe. So ultimately, if they do meet up again in this tournament, NrS may be looking for a little bit of revenge. And actually sending his Overlord out in the right direction here. So going to be able to find that no problem. Meanwhile, Dejmien going to be walling in, maybe? No, just throwing that supply depot down there. You do see a lot of times Terrans actually going for a supply depot here. Supply depot there, throwing a bunker down in the middle in order to be able to just kind of block that off if they so choose. A lot of, you know, they don't. A lot of Terrans, they do go for that barracks in the middle, but now more and more I do see that more of that bunker favoured. But it's odd, because why would you favour a bunker if it's going to be attacked? So, I don't know. So, NrSfishlips is going to be throwing down his hatchery first. Sorry, I've been a little bit thrown off by... It's so hot in this room, seriously. So, going to be throwing down his hatchery up here. And this is the interesting thing about Crevasse. This is going to be slightly harder to actually bunker rush for a Terran if he were to actually go for that. So you are very happy to secure this natural here as a Zerg on this map. And I really don't think too much pressure is going to come against this natural per se. If pressure was going to come, it would be more in the form of the main in these positions. And it looks like the spawning pool going to be going down at a pretty reasonable time here. So he's going to probably be able to deal with any kind of harassment that does come along. Although with a Reaper out, he really wants to keep that Reaper on creep per se in order to be able to catch up with it with those Zerglings. But indeed, the Reaper will be able to dance around and probably put on a little bit of pressure. Maybe get a lot of scouting off. I think the scouting aspect is far more valuable at this point than one or two drones. But then again, you know, Zergs open very kind of traditionally and predictably in this matchup. So, you know, maybe he's assuming that that is the case. We'll have to see. So now, wow, actually going to be flying that over there just to block that off fully. May see a factory go down now at any time in order to maybe get some, you know, Blue Flame Hellions out. Once again, we've seen a lot of Blue Flame Hellions in the Playhem tournament already, and the Lone Reaper going to be coming along here. Does want to dance around those Zerglings. The Zerglings, though, don't react really in time. And going to be coming up here to do a little bit of damage. Throwing the bunker down already. Going to be shelling away at this Spinecrawler. He really doesn't want to lose this Spinecrawler at this point. Queen coming out to try and take out that SCV. Good job there. Probably going to have to cancel that bunker though, as it is indeed in range of that Spinecrawler. Popping up here with the Reaper just to get a little bit of intel once again. As you can see, he has seen the natural, so he's in a fine position to be able to deal with anything that does come along. But we'll have to see. So 5 more drones on the way here. He's not scared of this Reaper at all. Ha ha ha, Reaper. You can't do anything. Although, you know, it could if it snuck around ever so slightly. Queen poised for attack at this point. But Dejmien, meanwhile, going to be getting his own natural up, trying to keep up in the economy game. And he's going to be in a fine position to keep up. Dejmien hasn't, well, Fishlips even has not drawn. Ooh, we already have a layer morphing in for Fishlips. So interesting choices there. That will be very interesting indeed. And going to be keeping on top of his injects as well. SCV is going to be transferring over to the main here. Speed almost done, so those Reapers lose their sort of utility per se. Where on earth has that Reaper gone? He's gone to the clouds. Going to be securing this watchtower down to the bottom here. Personally, I don't like this watchtower over this watchtower in these positions, but you know, each to their own, what have you, and all that. So. NrSfishlips once again going to be getting a Baneling bust here. Maybe going to go for that ling bling ling. Ling bling ling. That means there's 2 lings in that composition. Muta ling bling composition, and as that's, you know, very popular in these positions. Hydra favours that style a lot. So now the Zergling's going to be moving out. And this is why I favour this Watchtower in this matchup over this Watchtower. He hasn't actually seen these Lings moving out. Of course, they don't cause too much of a problem, and we do have those Hellions on the way with that Blue Flame just finishing up. So they're going to be no problem whatsoever. And but he has just scouted the Blue Flame, which is absolutely crucial. And doing a good job there. Wants to position this Spinecrawler just to be able to deny this. Great positioning on that Roach Warren, making sure that the Hellions can't run up as easily as they would like to. And now he's going to have a fine defense against these Hellions that are going to try and come up here. And, you know, just with the Roaches to kind of consider as well, these Hellions are going to do absolutely nothing. So now, just going to be letting them up ever so slightly so they can get in range of that Spinecrawler. Losing a few Lings there, but for the trade of one Hellion, that's not too bad at all. As, you know, he is getting his Spire, so that Mutaling Bling style is going to be coming into play anytime soon. Another Hellion is going to rendezvous with this front pack, but once again, they're not going to be able to do much at all. If these destructible rocks weren't here, sure, they could get up and do a little bit of harassment if they'd got up in this direction. But right now, this is a fantastic, fantastic defense here for Fishlips, and, you know, Dejmien's going to have a hard time breaking that. So, centrifugal hooks on the way, siege tech as well as some siege tanks as well. More mech play. Wow, Playhem EU Grandmasters Masters Tournament is going to be known for this mech, as this is all that everybody seems to be doing right now. Armory on the way, so he wants to get those upgrades out as quickly as possible. May want to decide on getting a Thor as quickly as possible, as 6 Mutalisks are on the way. Will need that to stop the harassment, but wise decisions here, and knows his timing so well. Dejmien going to be going for these missile turrets in the back of his base. Hasn't even seen the Spire, but he knows exactly what could happen and will take the precautions, the necessary precautions against it. So we do have Fishlips going to be spreading creep in every there direction he can do. These Hellions will need to run away as quickly as possible, as those Mutalisks will deny. Wants to get those home to repair, but no, that one actually does fall. A second one falls. So a bit sloppy there by Dejmien. Really shouldn't be losing those Hellions, as they can be very, very useful in the mid to late game against a Zerg, going for this Ling Bling Muta style, as, you know, they just, with a lot of Lings and Blings, or Banelings even. I hate the word bling now that I think about it. Ugh, it's horrible. But yeah, they just roast them so well. So what's interesting to note, though, is actually Blue Flame Hellions after the patch will not two-shot Banelings after the patch. So you'll need to actually 3-shot them. This is without weapons upgrades, I believe. So that's something interesting to consider in this matchup, indeed. But the Mutas here, looking for a little bit of an opening. We do have Burrow on the way. Would be interested to see if he is going to burrow a lone Zergling. Each of the expansions to maybe deny. These Zergling Mutas going to be flying in here to try and... He does lose one Muta sloppily to a missile turret at that point, but these Mutas are not in the numbers yet that you can use them to engage those missile turrets. You really want to be two-shotting those missile turrets with Mutalisks if you've got them in a flock, and at the same time he does have these Thors out to be able to protect, so he's going to be a fine position to be able to kind of take this game into that mid to late game. And another command center going to be going down for Dejmien now, but you know, Fishlips already has his third up and running, barely actually. He needs to get a few more drones over here to be able to do that. But ooh, looks like a bit of a Blue Flame Hellion drop could occur on this back natural here. That could do a lot of damage indeed. It looks like we do need to have those attack paths opened up for the Zerg. Going to be flying in here. Does not want to get too close to those Thors with those clumped up Mutas. That could be a very bad decision indeed. But now trying to do as much harassment as possible on this factory, and that could do a bit of damage indeed. Really would like to stifle the production of Dejmien in these positions, but to see. And indeed has opened up these attack paths, but meanwhile we do have that Blue Flame Hellion drop going to be hitting the natural at the back here, roasting a few of those drones, lining them up badly. All the drones fall, and now the Zerglings are going to try and come in here to clean this up. The Mutalisks are here as well, so those Hellions are forfeit at this point, trying to get a few more pot shots off on these Lings and Banelings, and do weaken a lot of them. But now Fishlips is in an interesting position, as a lot of his army is at half health. And oh my god, Blue Flame Hellion's just so strong against this composition. If Dejmien can get himself into a situation where he has the amount of Mutas required to deal with big Thors in order to be able to deal with big Mutalisk numbers, then he's going to be in a good position to actually take this game, and keeping up on macro, which is absolutely fantastic, whilst actually doing, you know, a pretty good deal of harassment Did lose a lot of drones in that position. Now the Thor's able to get one volley off on those Mutalisks, but they're not doing too much damage at this point. And I wonder if it's Control R. There we go. Control R. 13 workers killed by those Mutalisks. Blue Flame Hellions even. Now going to be moving in with these Mutalisks, engaging these missile turrets, trying to repair them as best he can, but it's not going to work as those two do fall. Losing one or two Mutalisks in that engagement, but not too bad, as he will get a few supply depots, supply blocking his opponent here. And now, yeah, Dejmien looking a bit shaky, not defending that as well as he could have done, but now throwing down, wow, four more missile turrets going down, and a hidden expansion going down for Fishlips. We have to whisper, because if it gets found, then, yeah. So, Fishlips here at this point, going to be just, you know, massing up what he looks to do best. More Banelings in production, a few Roaches added to this composition. Not too bad against the Thors, but ultimately if he can get good surrounds off on them, he's going to be in a fine position anyway, trying to open up the quicker attack path to his opponent. Very wise, as this composition can be very, very immobile, and really wants to, if he decides on a whim to actually go for his opponent, he wants to get that as fast as possible. So that is the main reasoning behind that. Meanwhile, though, the expansion's going up, so don't tell Dejmien. And we do have, you know, getting his saturation not too bad going off here at this point. And I can hear my girlfriend and friends have just opened bottles, so I hope they're going to make me some alcoholic drink, so I can drink it mid-cast. That will be interesting, but that would probably be quite unprofessional. Actually, pushing in here, a lot of the Banelings going to be rolling in. Will they take out the Hellions? And oh, so many of them die at this point. And the Mutalisks now, so many die to the Thors, and now it's just up to whether or not the Roaches can clean this up. It looks like they will be able to focus firing very well at this point. Fishlips going to be in a good position to clean out this entire force, and at this point Dejmien really can't be trading like this. He doesn't have the production to be able to do this in order to be able to keep up with the Zerg. So all these Roaches now going to be moving in. This is a very weak position at this point for Dejmien. Going to be focusing down those Thors. Really wants to take the powerhouse unit first. Takes out the siege tanks. The Thor, oh my god, the Thor falls. And now Fishlips is in a great position, despite letting his minerals go up ever so slightly high. He doesn't have the lava to be able to, you know, aid in this push. And regardless, he's not actually aiding in this push at all. He's more than happy to just do what he wants back home. The Roaches are absolutely wreaking havoc in the base of Dejmien. And Dejmien now resorting to repairing as much as possible, but he's not going to be able to. These Roaches are doing so well. And yes, please, thank you very much. It's all good. So, yeah, oh my god, have you ever seen Roaches be cleaned up by SCVs? Because that's what could happen, but no! And now coming to the income tab, it looks like Fishlips is going to be able to take a commanding lead. This best of one could all be but over, as Dejmien is in a very precarious position. Infestation pit on the way, as well as more Roaches. All he needs to do really at this point is push in once again. As I said before, the production facilities of Dejmien cannot keep up. As you know, a Zerg on 4 bases, going up to 5 bases, is able to produce just so much faster than 5 factories. So, I mean, these units are indeed powerhouse units. The siege tanks will be able to shell away so well at these Roaches, but whether or not the Roaches can get into a good position is yet to be decided. But 18 more Roaches on the way, ladies and gentlemen. Another layer morphing in. Where's that? Layer morphing in, and you know, Carapace on the way as well, and just taking bases everywhere at this point. Fishlips, he is in such a good position, and almost doubling the supply of his opponent right now. I'm not sure he knows how good a position he's in, and oh my god, actually just playing so safely here. He knows he's ahead, as Artosis always says, once you're ahead, get more ahead, ladies and gents, as that is indeed what Fishlips is going to be doing. And at this point, he can just sacrifice these Roaches to God knows how many siege tanks. He is in a great position, going to be running these in, focusing down these siege tanks. They're going to take so much damage. A few siege tanks unsieged at the top of here. Maybe that could have made the difference, but ultimately it doesn't look like it. Dejmien is probably going to fall at this point. A lone Thor comes down now. Where are the SCVs to repair? It doesn't matter, those Roaches taken out too fast. And now these Roaches are in a great position to clinch this game for Fishlips, and it looks like he will be moving on to the round of X, whichever round it may be, as we're not really casting these in order of rounds. So just focusing down all the production facilities are now of his opponent. Very, very wise. GG